Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of The Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check today's video out. We are going to be talking about the one lure, if there's one lure out of all the lures out there that are available to be fished and bought, what that lure would be that you really need to fish in 2025 and learn how to master it. Because by mastering this particular lure that I'm going to talk about, guys, it will add up to so many quality fish for you guys once you really get good at it. So we're going to go over that in today's video. Also, guys, one quick reminder, anyone interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me, you can do that by going to my Facebook page, Randy Blocker, Professional Angler. Just shoot me a private message. And also, I'd like to invite everybody to please hit that subscribe button here to The Fishing Teacher. Really appreciate that. Okay, if there's one lure out there, guys, that you have got to learn how to fish, and it's just the number of fish and quality fish you can catch with this lure is really second to none, and that is a chatterbait. Bladed jig, chatterbait, jackhammer, whatever you want to call it. Guys, these are incredible fish catching lures, and they're super versatile, and that's what I want to talk about today is the versatility of that bait. And also, guys, I'll link some of my favorite bladed jigs in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video if you guys are looking to pick some up. So anyway, guys, I have been fishing a chatterbait since they came out over 20 years ago. And when they first came out, they were pretty much just relegated. People just thought you fished them around grass beds. And that's probably the #1 cover as far as it still is even today. It's like a chatterbait around any type of grass is an excellent lure. It's like, I don't care if the grass is 2 or 5 or 10 feet underwater, or if it's around lily pads or some type of emergent grass. There's something about a bladed jig chatterbait that it just catches a lot of fish around grass. So that's probably the #1 thing. But the more that we have fished that bait and got used to it, the more applications that it has. I mean, one of my good friends, Brent Chapman, who fishes the Bass Pro Tour, you know, he catches fish on chatterbait around every single type of cover. Rock, wood, docks, it doesn't matter. He just fishes it all the time. And that's the beauty of a bladed jig, is the fact that you can literally catch fish on it around any type of cover. So if you're out fishing, and I don't care if you're fishing boat docks, lay down trees, stumps, riprap banks, whatever it may be, if you know there's some bass there and you're catching fish on a crankbait or spinnerbait or jig or whatever it is, just try a chatterbait, guys. A chatterbait, it will cause those fish to react different than any other lure out there, simply because the uniqueness of the profile and vibration of it. And you can literally fish it in every different water column. You can pump it off the bottom, which is one of my favorite techniques. You can reel it just under the surface. You can reel it through any water column depth. It's really versatile as far as pulling those fish away from cover. Now, most of the time, if I'm not fishing grass, probably my favorite chatterbait type of structures is coming past some type of object with it. You know, next to a lay down tree, next to the corner of a boat dock, next to a stump, you know, something like that. It's a really good ambush lure. And in the pre-spawn time of the year, if you've got some off-colored water conditions, just going down a rocky bank can be really good with it. You know, parallel on a riprap bank, parallel on a rocky bank, all those type of structures, any type of area you're catching them on a crankbait, you can catch them on a bladed jig. Now, water visibilities are another thing that is really versatile about a bladed jig. I have caught fish on a bladed jig in water visibilities of anywhere between 6 inches to 10-foot visibility. I've caught them slow rolling the thing in 6 inches of visibility around shallow cover. I've caught them at Lake Mead on it in 10 foot of clarity when I'm fishing it, you know, over those deep grass beds in clear water. And I've caught them around every other type of structure that you have. Now, in my opinion, the best time to fish a chatterbait is in the springtime of the year. Pre-spawn, spawn, post-spawn, doesn't really matter, but that time of year when those fish are up shallow and the water temperatures in the 50s and 60s, that's when I catch a lot of good fish on it. Probably the best time, in my opinion, is when the water temperature is between 55 to 60 during the pre-spawn, before the fish start really to move up to bed. That's when you can get in those pre-spawn type areas like the channel banks and points and a little bit steeper banks, and just catch that thing, you know, fishing it slow around those type of banks, catch a lot of fish on it. And one other thing that you really want to master with the thing is that stop and go retrieve and the pumping retrieve. So one of my favorite ways to fish it is to throw it out there and let it go to the bottom, and then just pump it off the bottom maybe 2 or 3 feet. I catch a lot of fish doing that, even especially around some type of shallow grass. Most of the time I'm using a 3/8 ounce or a 1/2 ounce, depending upon the wind and the water depth. And my color variations, I usually just use 2 colors pretty much. Some type of a shad pattern and then a green pumpkin. I have found that a green pumpkin with a green pumpkin trailer, or some type of a pearly white, shad type color, those are about the only 2 colors you use. In general, I'll use a shad color in a little bit more dirty water, and the green pumpkin a little bit more clear water. But the main thing you got to do, guys, is just fish it. Just put it on and throw it. I mean, it's not a difficult bait to fish. You just throw it out there and reel it in, and you can vary the retrieve a little bit, but you just have to get confidence in catching some fish on it. Once you do, it'll definitely become one of your favorite baits, and it catches quality fish. I mean, chatterbait catches on average bigger fish than about any lure that I know about. So anyway, I hope it helps you guys out. Talk later.